Hey there guys, it is Natural Nadine here and I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be how to maintain heat damaged hair. It's 2023, I got heat damaged hair and I'm okay with that. I really feel like that in order to give black women just the freedom to do whatever it is they want to do with their hair, we have to present these options. I'm a straight haired natural, which means that my hair is heat damaged. I no longer have a uniform curl pattern or texture throughout my hair, which is what I previously had. I made that decision after months of consideration. I have a whole separate video that detailed exactly why I decided to become a straight haired natural. I really want to just show you that there are other ways that your natural hair journey can look like. I feel like my hair looks super thin, but it's actually a half up, half down. So I'm just getting that disclaimer out there because I feel like I know there'll be some haters in there that's talking about, oh, your hair is so thin. Now that I've got that disclaimer out of the way, let's get into the video. Now guys, would this really be one of my videos if we didn't get into a little bit of science? I really wanted to understand what are the characteristics of heat damaged hair. The reason why I wanted to understand it is because then I wanted to know, okay, if my hair is heat damaged and these are the characteristics of heat damage, here is how I counteract some of the things that come along with heat damaged hair. One of the main things that I found across numerous research papers and physical treatments damage in Caucasian Afro-ethnic hair fiber, analytical image and essays, as well as the, what's this called? The heat damage evaluation of virgin hair. So out of these two research papers, what I found was that heat damaged hair or hair that has been thermally treated, straightened, loses a lot of protein. Now I touched on this slightly in my video about the science behind heat damage. If you want to check that out and understand more about what happens when heat damage actually occurs. Another thing was that heat reduces the elasticity of the hair, which is why you can visibly see sometimes that your curl pattern disappears, your curls don't bounce back as much, your hair doesn't have as much elasticity because you are using heat on it. And because it doesn't have as much elasticity, it can be more prone to breakage than if it was, you know, springing back into its position. Like imagine a spring that's got a lot of elasticity. When you stretch it and it just bounces back, and you stretch it and it bounces back. Now imagine that spring loses its elasticity. At some point when you stretch it, there's a good chance that it'll break. And that's exactly the same concept with our hair. The next thing is that I learned about heat damaged hair and just applying heat to your hair in general is that the surface of your hair becomes compromised. Now, you guys know I'm all for maintaining the pH of my hair to keep my cuticles sealed and just making sure that my cuticles are intact in general. When you're applying straighteners or when you're applying heat to your hair, what that can do is damage the outer layers of your cuticle, can remove cuticle scales altogether so that the cortex of your hair becomes exposed. From that, your hair can be more prone to dryness, you don't retain moisture as well, it becomes more brittle, and all of those things come as a result of the surface of your hair and your cuticle layer not being able to protect your hair. Once I really researched that, that's when I feel like it all started to click into my head, okay, on exactly what I needed to do to my heat damaged hair to maintain it. And the first thing that I needed to do was to use protein, and lots of it. In my straight hair routine, I make sure every product I'm using has some sort of protein, keratin, hydrolyzed protein in it. So you guys know that I use the Keracare shampoo conditioner. It contains keratin or hydrolyzed protein, which is a form of keratin that's actually digestible for our hair. I then also use the Joico K-Pack, the Curlsmith Bond Curl. Those both have protein in it, keratin in it. The Redken Extreme Anti-Snap Leave-In Treatment, I'm not sure if that has protein in it. I'm almost certain it has protein in it. It's a strengthening treatment and that type of thing. That whole range is a strengthening treatment. But if you get the picture, my straight hair routine revolves a lot around protein. Protein can also help you maintain the curls as well. So if you don't want to lose your curls completely, which to be honest, most people don't, there's still some form of curl in my hair. It's just not as tight as it used to be. Now, there are different ways in which you can use protein within your hair routine. First way is you can do a very strong hard hit protein treatment every 4 to 6 to 8 weeks. or you can do the little and often approach, which is the one that I prefer and the one that I just explained that I do, which is using products that have a decent amount of protein regularly to just continuously replenish that protein. Now, protein treatments that are strong one-time hits that you do every 4 to 6 weeks are ones such as the ApHogee 2-step protein treatment. I know everybody and their grandmother knows this one. The reason why I recommend having a more of a little and often approach than doing a one big hit is that you're not constantly replenishing the protein in your hair. You're doing it one time, and then as that protein is depleting, you're not replenishing it as it's depleting. When you're having that little and often approach, your hair is constantly getting a hit of protein. It's constantly getting that strengthening. I don't wait until my hair is breaking off to do a protein treatment and add protein into it. Even on the directions for the ApHogee 2-step protein treatment, it says this treatment is for severely damaged hair. Hair that has lost its curl pattern, hair that is mushy and brittle and dry and breaking off. You don't want to get to that stage for you to then have to do a large protein treatment. For me, it's very reactive, it's not very proactive. Now, the next thing I spoke about was your hair's elasticity, and luckily enough, incorporating protein actually helps your elasticity. It helps your curls to bounce back. It helps your hair to want to spring back into its normal shape. However, another thing to ensure that you are maintaining elasticity is to hydrate your hair. So guys, when we're talking about hydration versus moisture in the cosmetic industry, moisture refers to the surface of your hair. Hydration refers to the deeper layers of your hair, the cortex of your hair. And a lot of the times the hydration is regulated by just your internal body in general, and moisture you usually have more control of by applying products at the surface of your hair. Another way to ensure that you're enhancing the hydration that you get is to use hydrating products. The difference between hydrating products and moisturizing products is that hydrating products penetrate deeper into the hair shaft and make sure that you are regulating that water a lot more deeper into the hair shaft, and therefore holding onto water a lot better. It also draws moisture from the environment to make sure that you are constantly drawing in hydration into your hair. When moisturizing products also work by depositing something on the surface of your hair to also make sure that you retain that moisture. Both are good, but both serve different purposes. And if you're really trying to get your elasticity back, especially as a straight-haired, heat-damaged girly, reach for those hydrating products, because they are going to help you to penetrate deeper and for you to get that hydration that you need. You guys know I use the hydrating shampoo from Keracare, the hydrating Humecto conditioner, even the Joico K-Pack that I previously mentioned. It's a hydrating treatment. So as well as products that contain a lot of protein, I'm also reaching for a lot of hydrating products to make sure that the internal of my hair is as hydrated as it can be. The next thing as well, guys, is you want to minimize the amount of heat that you are using, which sounds crazy because it's like you're straightening your hair all the time now, right? But if you can go 2 weeks without washing your hair and keep and prolong your style for 2 weeks, do that. If you can go 3 weeks, do that. If you can go 4, 5, 6, however long you think you can go without applying more heat on your hair, do that without compromising too much the health of your scalp. This is going to help to prevent those cuticle layers from being picked off, the surface of your hair from being damaged, your hair from getting dry and brittle in general. It's going to prolong that life, the actual lifespan of your hair, especially if you are straightening it often. You want to make sure that you are babying your ends, okay? Your ends are now your babies. They are getting all the loving. Your ends should be getting all the loving. It is very, very common in straight hair naturals to have ends that are slightly thinner as well, and just to have overall thinner ends. So you want to make sure that you are keeping an eye out for that and making sure that you're staying on top of 1, your trims, and 2, your treatments are focused as well on your ends. And on top of that, you want to make sure you are oiling your ends daily as a straight haired natural, okay? Nothing is worse than getting your ends dry, because if they're dry, they're going to break, they're going to snap. 1, you're not going to retain length. 2, they're going to get really, really thin. So for the love of fudge, baby your ends. Another way in which you can baby your ends and reduce heat, and which is also something that I've started to do as well. I feel like I need to do a tutorial on how I straighten my hair now, because guys, when I tell you, I literally straightened my hair the other day in like 5 sections. It was crazy. Like I took 1 big section at the back, straightened it, another big section, straightened it, 2 sections at the front, straightened it, and that was me done. And then I only did like the front bits that you can like see like a bit more individually, if that makes sense. But the rest of my hair, I straightened it in large sections, okay? Once your hair has kind of got to a point of heat damage, you don't need to put as much heat as you once did to get it as straight as you want it to. You can actually tone down the heat, and you can also increase the amount of sections. Like I just mentioned, I literally straightened my hair like a Caucasian woman, big sections. It took me 10 minutes. 10 minutes, guys, to straighten my hair. It's concerning, but I'm not that concerned about it. One of the things that I started to do before I got to obviously the stage of straightening my hair in like large sections was that I would straighten my roots. So straighten your roots at the higher temperature, because I feel like roots, sometimes you need a little bit of extra loving to get them straight and to get the style to like last as long as you want it to. So straighten your roots with your normal temperature style that you would, and get maybe like halfway down or whatever with the smaller sections that you would usually take. And then when it comes to your ends, because I find as well your ends are the things that pick up the heat damage the quickest, they're a lot easier to straighten. You can end up taking, so let's say you take this section here to do your roots, you do your roots in this section, but then when you're now doing your ends, you'll grab like three of these sections and then straighten the ends of your hair with much bigger sections. This is going to help to distribute the heat a lot more better over a wider area, which means that it's less concentrated on a specific section of your hair and a specific section of your ends. And as well, if you turn down the heat as well, it's a win-win situation, because you're using less heat and you're using it over a wider area, so it's a lot less concentrated and you're a lot less prone to getting that excessive heat damage, dryness and brittleness. And if I explained that like well, I feel like I'm going to do a tutorial anyways, like an updated one on how I straighten my hair. I did a tutorial on how I straighten my hair at 150 degrees Celsius, which is the lowest temperature that my straightener goes to, and as you guys could see in that video, you know, my hair still turned out straight. It had a bit of volume, it had a bit of body, it had a bit of texture. I knew that I'd straighten my hair in a much healthier way. I feel like I talked really fast in this video. All right, I'm gonna stop talking now because clearly I've been talking for way too long. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.